It is Monday, May 2nd, 2022. This is another edition of Baseball Today. We are reunited. It is Trevor Plouffe. It is Chris Rose. I want to thank Pete Moylan for filling in for me on Friday. You guys were great. I listened to the show on the YouTube/podcast side of things. What? It was just what?
It was okay. You and I, this is the dream team right here. I love you, Peter, but the thing is, I was stepping into a role I wasn't comfortable with.
Oh, you crush it every time you do that.
You're the host, baby. We need you.
That. But that was very nice of you. You were talking about how I was so well dressed at the NFL draft. Great. I appreciated all that sort of stuff. And now, guess what? Now that the draft is over, I made a promise to Michelle. I'm going to grow my beard back. Remember I had that last season?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to start to grow that back.
Okay.
There we go. Or people can vote whether it's a yay or nay. Should I bring back the beard or go clean shaven? Maybe I should listen to the social media world on John Boy Media.
I think you should bring the beard back just a little bit. Not like a full beard, but like a nice one.
Well, see, now you've got it nice and I can't ever keep it that short. It looks too itchy for me. So I either got to go full or nothing. So we'll see. We'll see. Why don't we start with the breaking news from Monday, which was Robinson Cano DFA'd by the New York Mets. They're eating right around $40 million to not have him on the team. Are you surprised that the Mets ate the dough?
We've kind of seen that around the league a little bit more and more. And then if you think about
$40 million,
I think about whose team he's on. You didn't let me finish. Like this is a team that doesn't care about money right now. It really seems like they don't. It's actually a breath of fresh air, to be honest with you. People actually investing in their team, doing the things that make a better product on the field, regardless of a money situation. So I'm not like super surprised by it. Like, I understand it's a lot of money to eat, but the Mets are out to a great start, and they're tasting it already. They're tasting October. Like, this is not a team that's messing around. Like, maybe we're going to make the playoffs. Like, they are going to make the playoffs. They're going to get Jacob deGrom back to an already stellar team. They're not wasting any time. It's time for them to go, and they understand that. I think Uncle Stevie's doesn't care.
Well, when you have the richest owner in baseball, it gives you a little more latitude. To me, this was a no-brainer. I actually would have been disappointed had they kept him. It's very simple. I mean, listen, he's a two-time PED offender. He's 39 years old. He's got a 500 OPS. What is the point of keeping him around? Listen, do you know Cano at all?
I just from playing against him, and he was always very nice to me, and always just like a nice, very nice guy. And like a lot of these guys, I loved watching him play ball. Like, absolutely, watching him turn a double play, probably the smoothest double play turn from a second baseman we've seen. Unbelievable. It was so clean. I tried to mimic that. You can't. Like, that is you're born with it. You practice it your whole life. Like, you can't just do it like him. Made everything look so easy on the field, and then his legacy's tarnished. Totally. It really is. And that's unfortunate because, he was one of the guys that you looked at was like, that's just a natural ball player out there. You could put him you really felt like you could put Robbie Cano anywhere, or like he's one of the guys that you could just wake up and say, hey, go hit, and you'd hit. But now, unfortunately, those two PED things really, it just tarnish it.
Great smile. Always looked like he was having fun. And then this stuff just blew up, and it was horrible. And good for the Mets because they made the right decision. To me, it's very simple. I mean, if it comes down to Cano, JD Davis, or Dom Smith, there's no decision. I mean, we saw what Dom Smith did last night, turn around 102 and, smacking it up the middle, a 4-hit night. They need to get him more at bats. He's so much more valuable. I mean, sorry, 30. And by the way, this is probably the end of the road for Cano. Do you see anybody picking him up?
Possibly, yeah, I do. I mean, if the Mets are going to eat all that money and you're going to get this guy for league minimum, like, there's a chance that you're like, you know what, like, let's get him and essentially have him be some sort of coach for us. Like, I keep saying that. Like, these veterans are useful, maybe not necessarily on the field too much. You mentioned, his 500 OPS. I think he probably can play a little bit better than that, but having him around the guys in the cage, like, if you think he can be a good influence, I think you might take a chance on him.
Can I ask you this? Would you want Robinson Cano around your team when he's tested positive twice for PEDs? Like, this is the way we should do it?
Oh, it's tough. Obviously, no, you don't want him influencing guys that take PEDs, but there's baseball knowledge in there, dude. Like
Absolutely, there is.
There's and like there's a lot of guys around the league. I mean, Mark McGwire was a hitting coach for 2 different teams, wasn't he? So like there is knowledge to be had from these guys. I think, we can't always just throw them out to the trash. Like, these are still, I struggle with this, as you can see. Like it's a very difficult decision or conversation to have, and a decision for a team to make. But I think you can get something out of them. Like I said, in some sort of like player coach mode. And I don't know what team would do that. Maybe like the Orioles. I keep saying the Orioles because I just like have them at the bottom of my list when I think about baseball teams right now. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, like if you were the Reds or if you were the Diamondbacks, I mean, teams that aren't going anywhere this year. I mean, is that where you would lean?
I think you have to see what kind of attitude he has this year. I don't know. I haven't been around him. So like he's making so much money. He's made so much money. He has nothing left to like prove. Like, and like if he's motivated and wants to help, then yeah. But if he's kind of just like going through the motions, then no, you don't want him around your team. You want young, hungry dudes. And that's the Mets chose that.
All right. So we're a month into the baseball season. You know what that means? Freshly manicured lawn. I'm not talking about your favorite baseball stadium. I'm talking about yourself, dude. South of the equator. Let Manscaped take care of you. If you go to manscaped.com, use the code baseball today, you're going to get 20% off and free shipping. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code word baseball today. So I want you to follow these instructions. Step 1, grab your handy dandy lawnmower 4.0. It is a great one. I used it before my trip to Cabo. I'm telling you, I was feeling fresh, feeling clean. It's the ultra smooth package. Step 2, the crop exfoliator, infused with ingredients that soothe, clear, and keep the skin around that special sensitive area feeling refreshed. Step 3, the crop gel. See where you're shaving with our unique clear shaving gel just for the groin area. And step 4, it's time to shave. The crop shaver was designed for shaving the groin area with supreme confidence. So if you can follow instructions, it'll be very simple. Go to manscaped.com, code word baseball today, 20% off your offer and free shipping. Believe me, you'll be feeling silky smooth, and that someone special in your life will say, dude, I love you. Opposite end of the spectrum is Clayton Kershaw. Record setter this weekend, became the all-time strikeout king in Dodgers franchise history. He is currently at 2,700 strikeouts. He is 26th the whole time. Best of our generation, and I'm talking probably, I would say since Randy Johnson, since that era kind of finished up. So I'm not going to include Clemens, Maddox.
Pedro's out.
Pedro is,
for me, just say Pedro's out.
Okay, Pedro's out.
Then yes. And I don't think there's, like, I guess Scherzer is like the next closest you could think about. Is because
Scherzer and Verlander.
Yeah, those two. And because you have to have the innings. Like Jacob deGrom's come around. He doesn't have the innings. I think he's got almost like half of what Clayton has or something like that. So you can't really include him just yet. But every time I visit Clayton Kershaw's baseball reference page, I'm reminded just of what a monster this dude is. If a guy has a single season, Chris, with a whip around 1, we marvel at it. If a guy has a single season at a 2.5 ERA, we marvel at it. This dude has done that throughout his career. We're talking how many innings does he have? 2,477 innings. He's got a 1.001. Got to get that. We got to get that down, Kersh. Okay. 1.001 whip, a 2.49 ERA. I know those are some, basic level stats, but like in my mind, those ring like crazy. And really there's just nobody close to him.
Well, I wouldn't say there's nobody close to him.
Well, shoot,
because
man,
I would say what Scherzer has done over the last decade has been extremely.
Has Scherzer ever had a 1 during a year? I don't think he has.
I'd have to look it up.
Chris, I'm looking at his again. I'm just going to ERA. People can hate on that if they want. Whatever. If you go look at his ERAs, he hasn't even had a 3. He didn't have a 3 in front of his name from 2009 to 2019. 10 straight years of sub 3.
I'll do you one better in the ERA area. The only modern day pitcher that had a career lower ERA than Clayton Kershaw is Mariano Rivera. The only guy that's had a lower one. Everybody else came with some old school nickname, right? Like,
yeah. Well, hold on. Let's talk about his nickname.
Brown and
Claw is not his nickname, right? Like, we're not doing that.
No,
that's not his nickname. MLB put that out.
Whatever. That's dumb. I'm talking about like where we called somebody whatever, in the 1910s and the 1920s, everybody had some sort of ridiculous nickname working. Okay. I'm not talking about like the machine for Albert Pujols. I'm talking about like old school nicknames.
I'm getting Verlander's stat sheet up here. I gotta see this.
It's pretty good. It is.
I know it is. This is gonna be one of those I go to and I'm like, holy shit.
By the way, do you think that Kershaw sticks around for 3,000 strikeouts?
He's got 300 to go, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm looking at Verlander's. Very impressive. It's not as impressive as Kershaw's.
Okay.
And I don't even. It's not even really close.
But sometimes you don't have to look at the stat sheet. When we have seen the entire career of one of people and like you have faced them, then that's where the proof is for me. It's not looking at a stat sheet.
You kind of have to. I mean, I faced Scherzer and Verlander too much. Like, I'm disgusted of how much I had to face those guys. And unfortunately, I don't think I ever faced Kersh in the show. But I can appreciate it from afar. And as you look at the numbers, you know what he's doing as he's doing it. Like, during these years, we knew he was just absolutely dominant. But when it's put all on one page and you're looking at it, it's something else, man.
Scherzer, a 3.15 ERA, a 1.08 WHIP in his career. And here's the thing. So he's got 3.5 years on Clayton Kershaw in terms of age. Like, I don't see Kershaw still pitching when he's 37.
We don't know that. I don't know, man. If he goes and has success this year, why not?
And feels
unless he's
good.
Just over it.
Well, I mean, let's remember he and Ellen just had their 4th child. Like, Kershaw, one of the great things I loved about it was that he was tipping his cap and seemed to soak in the moment. Like, I was watching it live and I was really curious because there's nobody who is more tunnel vision in a game than Clayton Kershaw. And so I was wondering if he could step off the mound and enjoy the moment as, the crowd wouldn't let him move on. The umpire wouldn't let him move on. The catcher wouldn't let him move on. The hitter wouldn't let him move on. He's like, let's play baseball. But I did see a little bit in his eyes like, yeah, this is pretty cool, right? And especially since he has such an amazing relationship with Sandy Koufax. Now, I know that it was Don Sutton who had the all-time record and pitched there for 16 of his 23 seasons. But I think for him to be able to now, where people are like, that's the greatest pitcher in Dodger history, whether he'll say it or not, I think that means something to him.
Of course it means something to him. Oh, my goodness. Storied franchise, and he's doing it all in Skechers. Who would have thought, dude? Skechers is like, let's go, man. We did it.
I loved it. I thought it was really cool.
So, I love to do this. Salary watch. I want to know total amount these guys have made.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go for Kershaw?
Yeah. I'll say by the end of this season, it'll be 262.
You're a little light at the end of the season. It'll be 274. And it's actually, I'm shocked that it's as low as. I don't mean that. You know what I'm saying, though, because you look at other players around the league, especially pitchers. We're 350s. A guy of his caliber. We just said he's the greatest pitcher of our generation. He never signed like a long deal.
Well, until this year, he never threatened to leave LA. And that's when he would have gotten the mega money. He just, they always extended him. And he was
he's made 30, 32, 34, 35. He's been in the 30s for quite some time. And just, I guess the long contract never came.
Yeah. Yep.
But Clayton, you're a stud.
Yankees have won 9 in a row as they head into Toronto tonight. That should be a fun series in the 6. Aaron Judge has hit 7 homers in his last 8 games. So obviously the New York front office is going to love where they are. They've had an amazing start. But every time 99 takes another swing, you can hear the little ka-ching, ka-ching in the background. Does it feel like every time he steps in the batter's box, he's taking one more step out of the Bronx?
I don't get that feeling just yet. I believe it's going to be an interesting free agent ordeal for him. Like, I think if he does make it past the season, I have a feeling the Yankees are still going to make a big offer to him during the year when they still can, even though he said no. Like, I think they're going to try to go be first. Like, hey, dude, like, don't even think about these other teams. And if they don't do that, they're stupid. I don't care if he says no contract negotiations during the year. You better put a big piece of pie in front of this dude's face before he goes out to another diner. You know what I'm saying? So if he does make it out, it's going to be fascinating. I mean, he is going to be wined and dined like nobody else. And he might just take a taxi cab over there to that other team in New York. And I think that's the scariest thing.
He's not ending up with the Mets.
You don't know that, dude. Okay, they offered him what, 213 for 7. The math comes out to 30.5 per year. It's a great AAV, but there's plenty of guys making 35. And I think he probably wants to set a bar here. I don't know how long he's going to get. He's 30 years old right now. But even if he got the 7 years they offered him at like 35, that's an extra $35 million. And all you have to do is go out and play the season and not get hurt. I think he knew that was the case, and he's willing to make that bet. If he does hit the open market, the Yankees can't let him do that. They can't. I don't care what he says. You have to go make another real final best offer to him before the season ends.
Do you think that every time they watch the TV and he does what he's done over the last week to 10 days, where they're like, fuck, is there a little bit of them that's where they're going,
I don't think so.
We just either like, hey, we didn't do enough, or holy shit, there's no shot of us bringing him back?
I don't think they're feeling that way yet. I think they think they're going to get him back. I think that's the general zeitgeist throughout all of baseball right now, is Aaron Judge is just going to be a Yankee. And there was another person who we always said that about someone. We never really treated them like a real free agent. That was last year. I'm talking baseball used to say that all the time. I forget who it was. Anyways.
Wait, a guy that you thought would never leave but did leave?
I gotta remember. I gotta think later in the show. It's gonna come to me. We'll get back to it. But
all I can tell you is this: if you had asked me a year ago if Freddie Freeman would be on another team,
that's who it was.
We would have been like, "What are you talking about? There's no way Freddie Freeman's leaving Atlanta, and he is 2 years older than Aaron Judge. Now he doesn't have the injury history that Aaron Judge has, although I think a lot of that stuff has been freakish. Maybe some of the oblique stuff would bother me if I were a team that were giving him $275 million, but I'm going to run that risk. I'm going to. And I'm telling you, I guarantee it. The Yankees are not rooting against Aaron Judge's performance. No. I want to get that out there. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that they might be kicking themselves a little bit, that they let it get to this point.
Yeah, Freddie's the guy we were talking about. He never really felt like he was a real free agent. And then you realize, like, if a guy gets to that point, he's going to take those trips. He's going to see what's out there. You have to do that. The biggest regret that I have, not the biggest regret that I have, I was getting recruited in high school by every college there. I was like the number one guy because I was kind of like in between like what people were saying first and second round. And I was telling guys, if I didn't go in the first round, I'm going to go to college. So those are the guys that colleges love because they can get them to, play college ball. So I was recruited by, anyone you could think of. And the only recruiting trip I went on was USC, and I'd already signed with them. It's so stupid of me. I should have went to LSU. I should have went to Miami. I should have done all these things, got wined and dined, experienced the local flavor, if you know what I mean. But I didn't do that. Judge, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you are because you probably listen to baseball today. Go out there and taste that local cuisine, baby.
You're a dope.
Go get you some.
You are a dope. You could have been in Austin, Texas. You could have been down in Coral Gables. You could have gone down to South Carolina. You could have hit all these fun places. All of them. All of them.
Trust me. I don't know what my parents were thinking. Like my dad, what were you thinking? Not letting me go experience that. You know what happened to me? USC came knocking on my door. They were the first day they could offer. And then Stanford was the second day. My bad. They came, they offered me a full ride. I said, okay, I'm in. I canceled the Stanford meeting. Didn't even come down. And then I took a trip. This is so stupid.
I'm sure when Teddy goes through it all, that you're gonna
I'm
be
going
like,
with too.
Hey, yeah.
I'm coming.
You're gonna be the roadie dad. Yeah. Yeah. And all the little co-eds will be like, oh, Teddy, your daddy's so cute.
No,
and you're gonna be an old man by then. You're gonna have a big old pot belly like me. It's gonna be perfect.
Why is he still dressed like a teenager? What's he doing?
Why is his hat backwards and he's 50? I don't understand it.
Yeah, there's Fred Durst.
You know what I'm here to tell you about? My friends over at Muggsy Jeans. Head on over to Muggsy.com. Code word today. You get 10% off your entire order. Yes, I have told you how much my wife, Michelle, loves the Muggsy Jeans that I ordered. Because you know what? I went out of my comfort zone. I didn't get bluer, bluest. If you're traditionalists, it's fine. They've got those. I went charcoal gray. They look great. They add to my repertoire and my wardrobe, and they feel fantastic. Now, listen, if you're a little heavier than you want to be, it's okay because the jeans expand with you. They got this special material that I don't know how they scientifically do it, but it grows with you. So if you're a few pounds, I don't know, heavier than you want to be, it's okay. And then if you're able to get back in shape, that's cool too, because they don't look too baggy. And by the way, if you have a few extra pounds, it's not a big deal. Like, it happens. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you want to feel good and you want to feel confident. So go order your Muggsy Jeans. And the thing I love most about them is that they got a vast array of colors. Okay. So if you want to go and be a little extra spicy and get something that's like green or red or yellow, whatever color, they've got that for you. So go to Muggsy.com. The code word is today. You're going to get 10% off your entire order. You will feel sexy. You will look sexy as well. Hey, it's the beginning of May. Okay. So we're going to focus on the positive. A lot of shows like to go, well, you know, there's so many teams that sucked and all this sort of stuff, and we'll save that for later. But I want to talk about the positives. Who was like the one guy that we didn't talk about at all in April who was like a stud?
Well, I just talked about Stanford. I'm basically a Stanford man, which is the best college in the U.S. No big deal. I have never mentioned this name. I don't think you have mentioned this name. Tommy freaking Edman. Have you seen what this guy's been doing?
Good one.
In 1 month, Chris, he's racked up 2 WAR. Okay. He's got a 405 on base percentage. We know he can play a little bit of defense, but like the bat is around. He's 891 OPS. Like, that's superstar level stuff right there.
Excellent.
And we didn't even talk about him at all.
Well, you know why? Because he's been overshadowed so much by Arenado and his, he was the April MVP.
But, to have a guy like this, like the Cardinals got something, especially defensively. And I just like the roster construction right now for them. So shout out Tommy. Hope you keep it up, man. I've heard nothing but good things about him too from his teammates. So Stanford guy, me and you.
I like that. I didn't even know he was a Stanford guy. Shame on me.
Well, you're not a Stanford guy, so like you wouldn't know.
Not true. I am a Stanford guy. I just hung out with their football coach at the NFL draft, Coach David Shaw.
Never mind, you are.
And by the way,
David Shaw, damn, he's
such a good dude. He
always knows how to beat USC. Like, just knows how to.
He is. He's worked our draft coverage for the last 10 years. You won't find a nicer human being. So a lot of those football coaches at that level are really unsavory people, in my opinion. He is just as stand up. And I met his wife, who went to MIT, is a genius, and is a huge BattleBots fan. So we spent like a half hour at the bar talking about BattleBots. It was great.
I love that, dude.
I love it. She's like, yeah, I want to come. And I was like, we shoot it right like 5 minutes from where we are in Vegas right now. She's like, oh, I'm coming. I'm going to bring my 12-year-old and we're coming. It's like, please. We might do it in September, so the coach might not be able to. She's like, I don't care about him. I'm coming. I was like, you got it.
Love that.
She was great. For me, I'm wearing a Padres hat, twofold. And this is the main reason why. Joe Musgrove, who has been unbelievable the last few seasons, but so far 5 starts and ERA under 2. He's gone at least 6 innings in every start. And we didn't know if that could happen right out of the gate with the shortened spring training. Musgrove, who is a behemoth of a man and has shoulders as wide as an offensive tackle. He is just a beast.
6'5". I didn't know that.
Oh, he is a monster. He is a monster. Companies should be taking out billboards on his back. That's how wide it is. So, as I said, at least 6 innings in every start. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but you know what he is now? A strikeout to walk dude. 33 strikeouts, 2 walks in 5 starts. 2 walks in 5 starts.
I love that. I love seeing that. We got Gausman 41 Ks, no walks so far. Like the no walks thing, pitchers, get on board with that. Stop walking people, man. Let your defense work for you. I got 2 other ones just quick. I want to mention them because people always get mad. What about this guy? What about this guy? And they're facing off tonight. Pablo Lopez, Zach Gallen. Go check out the stat pages. Great. The 3 starts, they've been electric. I think Pablo's at a 0.39 and Zach is at a 0.6. So
yeah, it should be a good one. And then the Marlins, they just had a 7-game winning streak snapped yesterday or something like that. They've been playing some good ball.
People get so mad when we don't. Yeah, they get so mad when we don't mention the Marlins. Like when we're talking about the NL East, and like we know what they can do. We know what they can do.
No, we don't. That's why we don't mention. No, we don't. We don't because offensively they're average at best and probably more like below average. I've talked to Miggy about this.
What do you? We talk about the Brewers. Are they above average offensively? No, I picked them.
Okay, wait a second. You can't compare the National League Central and the National League East, brother. That's part of the reason. If you want to be a competitor in the NL East, you damn well better be a complete team.
I mean, what are they sitting right now?
You mean overall? What's their record?
Yeah, the Marlins. They're 12-9. Yeah. They're sitting in second place in the NL East. We have to at least mention them.
We do,
or else I'm going to get yelled at.
No, we do mention them. We also mention that their offense, I don't know if it's built for the long haul.
I don't care. I honestly don't care about that. I care more about pitching, and they have it in spades.
I want to get to one more thing. Robbie, hopefully you have this video, able to find it from Saturday out in Oakland. I'm changing you up a little bit here, Plouffe, on the fly. Sure. Did you see the dude trying to catch the foul ball out in Oakland wearing the Cleveland gear? Here we go.
Spills
the beer all over his lady. I mean, just okay. What would Olivia's reaction have been if that was her?
Sometimes she has these eyes with me that she doesn't have to say anything. I just like no, and that's what I would have gotten right there.
Are those
she's
the
not
Jada
like
the Jada Pinkett Smith eyes?
Yeah, she's not like a vocal person, like at all. Like when it comes to that, like if she's mad at you, she ain't yelling at you. She's just staring through your soul and making you feel hurt. She has that Egyptian quality. She doesn't have to say anything. It's a little magic or something.
Would she have made you leave?
I don't know. And maybe tomorrow I'll just try because we're going to the game tomorrow. No. Do you think I should just like pour a beer on her and see what happens?
Absolutely not. Not unless you want to stay in Rose's extra room for like a month.
She'd get mad at me. She'd get mad. This is what I would do, Chris, because I'm a nice guy. I'd go to the team store, buy her some new clothes, and say, whatever you want to do now, honey, just let me know.
Yeah, I think Michelle. Yeah, it would not be good.
It wouldn't be good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. It just wouldn't be good.
Because that was like, it really got her too. It was like,
it did.
Really splashed her.
And so it cost the dude like $18 to get another beer. And if she had to get a new Cleveland jersey, which I think it said Indians on it anyway, so it's probably time for one. So there you go. I propose teams take care of fans going after foul balls that drop their beer. Should be a free beer. Your next beer should be free. Oh, yeah. I'm sure that they'll want full proof. I would have been like, look, I was just up on Jumbotron. There's proof everywhere. Like cameras are everywhere. A-Rod had his, what he do as a commissioner, which was fucking ridiculous. Maybe we'll talk about that in the second half of the show. That's what I would propose. Free beer if it gets knocked out of your hand catching a foul ball. All right. What do you have coming up on John Boy? Going to do the Talkin' Baseball series recap right after this. So I'm excited about it. So a lot of good stuff happened. And, Mondays are my favorite episodes for Talking Baseball because, we just have that little length that we don't see each other. The vibes are great. What about you? Mud Grant, Padres analyst, is on the show. He is great. One of the best storytellers in the sport. I'm going to start to try and get some more analysts on. They always have great stories. I didn't even know that he was a top 10 pick in the 1981 draft. And how he found out he was drafted by the Giants, I couldn't believe it. I've heard a lot of stories. This one made my jaw drop. Okay. So That's all out there. I want you to listen to him. He is great. And we're taping Glass now, which will come out on Thursday.
Nice.
So there you go. Shout out to our producer extraordinaire, the one and only Robbie Scirocco. Thank you very much for joining us, whether it's on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, or wherever you download your podcasts. It's great. If you want to join us live every Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, just download the AMP app. It's the black and gold one, and we will see you then.